is Joni with Joni.love and Free Life Apparel, and I just felt led to come on and give you a quick reminder that you were born for such a time as this. I know that things going on in the world and the country seem really overwhelming sometimes, and it's easy to get into a place of fear or just bury your head to what's going on. Personally, there are times where I just don't want to hear it. My husband watches a couple of YouTubers almost every night who I really like. Everything that they're saying is wise, it's faith-based, but sometimes I just don't want to hear it. My door came open. Because it can be too heavy. But the fact is, I was born for such a time as this, and I have no reason to fear. We were each born for such a time as this. We have a gift, we have a calling on our life, and God has a plan and purpose for us in this hour, in this season, in this part of history. So, if you don't know what that is, I encourage you to seek the Lord and find out. That's the first place to start. Think about the things you're passionate about. Think about the talents God has given you. Is that part of your calling? I believe that God does want us to use our talents and gifts to further His kingdom and to glorify Him. For example, personally, I like to write and I like to talk. I love to talk about God. So that's why I do videos, that's why I write, that's why I blog, and because that's what God has called me to do. He's calling me to do other things that incorporate those gifts, but it can be scary. And I want you to realize that you need to step out and you need to do what God is calling you to do in this time, because you are called for such a time as this. And there is somebody who needs what you have to offer, who needs what God is calling you to do. I like to watch Terry Savelle Foy, as a lot of people know, and she always says there's someone waiting on the other side of your obedience. The great thing is, you don't have to have a degree. You don't have to be the expert in whatever God is calling you to do. He does not call the qualified, He qualifies the called. And you see that over and over and over again in the Bible. Even Paul talks about how he had so much knowledge and training and wisdom about the law, and he came from this prestigious background, but that meant nothing when it came to serving God. So remember, you don't have to have all the accolades, the education, and all of that to do what God is calling you to do. Now, the devil wants you to be afraid. He wants you to be afraid to step out, because he knows that what God is calling you to do is going to do damage to His kingdom, and it's going to further God's kingdom. Fear is a lie from the devil. Anxiety is a lie from the devil. We have the tools to overcome those things and to live free. So don't let that stop you. Don't let finances stop you. Don't let your situation in life stop you. Don't let lack of this or lack of that stop you. God will provide everything you need and more to do what He is calling you to step out and do. You just need to be faithful. This is the time when everything looks like it's crazy in the world. This is the time that we need to step up and we need to love people where they are. We need to not judge them. We need to pray and pray and pray for our enemies. We need to pray for the people in power who are not godly, who are doing things to harm citizens, our country, and our world. This is the time that you were born in to use your gift, your talent, whatever God is calling you to do. Do it. Do it. We can do this together. We are a body. You need to get into a faith-filled church, not a church of judgment, not a church of religion, a real church. Be a part of the body of Christ. We all have our part to play. Some of us are teachers, some of us are preachers, some of us prophesy. We all have our part to play. And I just really wanted to encourage you to step out and do whatever God is calling you to do. Personally, I have been holding back on doing some of the things that God has called me to do. For example, videos. I stopped doing them for personal reasons I'm not going to get into. But I'm done. I'm over it. And the fact is, when I know God's calling me to do something and I don't obey right away, I don't have a peace in my spirit. I have conflict and I don't feel right. And so I've decided to step out, do what God is calling me to do with videos and some other things that He's calling me to do, which you will find out about later, and just do it. Another thing is, get yourself a good faith, believing Christian friend. I don't know where I would be without mine. I don't know where I would be without them. I don't know where I would be without the women in my life that pour into me, that encourage me, that don't judge me. And we have true faith-filled relationships. We speak the truth in love. We tell each other when we need to get the other one when they need to get their butt in gear. And I encourage you, you can't do this alone. You are not meant to do this alone. That is why God encourages us in the Bible to have fellowship with one another. So, I'm going to leave it at that. Get out. Do what you're called to do, because you have everything you need with Christ. It might not look like it in the natural right now, but He will provide everything you need. The courage, the strength, the finances, the place, the provision, whatever it is. Do it. Someone is waiting for your obedience, including God. Somebody needs you, whether you realize it or not. All right, that is it. I'm going to sign off now. Be blessed.